which you get by default, and one that I've configured for RuneScape. But basically, you want to tick this box here over PS3, but I'll come to that later. Got you can. This is an optional thing of changing the LED layout. It by default it's set to battery information, but as you're having it plugged in straight into the computer, this can be a bit useless information, and you never know if it's actually fully working, because it'll just have flashing lights and it doesn't really say anything. So I tend to have a custom, and you can click any and all of these. I have the first one and the fourth one plugged in, clicked, and if you want to enable it, just click enable. If you're still not sure if it's working correctly, you can always do a vibration test by clicking this button, and if it's working, and if you have a rumble pack in the controller, which standard PS3 controllers tend to have, when you click this, the motors in the controller will start to rumble. You can mess around with these sliders to increase and reduce the strength of the motors, but basically, if all else fails, if you don't know if it's working, just do the vibration test. If it rumbles, then you know it's working. Then the next thing you need to do is go into options and start mapping out the button layout, so you can configure it in the next program, which is the Joy 2 key, but I'll come to that later. By default, these are the settings it has. So triangle 1, circle 2. You can change all of these to whatever you want, but to keep it simple, you can leave these as they are, because it doesn't really matter. The only thing you may need to change is the D-pad buttons, because at the moment they're set up to D-pad up, right, down and left. You may want to set these to just a numbered button, and I'll show you my layout my custom layout for RuneScape. And as you can see, here's the default with the D-pads, and here's the other one where I just changed the D-pads to just normal button maps. And to make a new config layout, just type here what you want to call it. I suggest like RS or RuneScape, just so you know what it is. Then you just click new, and it'll make a new one. Because I put no name, it made a blank one, and you can edit it there and even give it a description if you wanted to. But and then you just do that, and it'll automatically save. And I'll just delete that one. So that's all you need to do for this, but you have to keep this program open, I believe, or at least minimized whilst you're playing, because if you close it, I think it doesn't I'll just close it now just to be sure. Never mind, it might be the other program that does that. So the S3 tool, if you accidentally press the red cross and close it, it shouldn't make a difference, because it should still, it's not even there, but it saves the layout and it keeps the controller connected. So you can close once you configured it and loaded it up. It will save it, and the only thing you'll have to do is when you first boot up the computer or log in, you will just have to open this program when you want to use it. But the only reason why you would need to really open this program up is if you disconnect the controller and you need to reconnect it. Like, I'll just disconnect the controller now, and it's disconnected, and then just reconnect it. It's automatically remembers the thing, so disconnect, it's waiting for controller, reconnect, and it's back again. And you have to then click enable or vibration testing, because even if you press vibration testing, it will automatically reconnect, and it can be proved when you see the two lights. Or what, that's why I suggest custom lighting, because then you can look at the top of the controller, and then you will know when it's connected properly when the light is on these two nodes. So this is the first light and the fourth light, and then the middle two lights, the second and the third, are off. And I'll show you that when I do the demonstration, that the lights are like that. But moving on, so that's all configured now. I can down click the X, and now this is up. This is the custom layout that I have. Just a reference. It can help if you're first setting this up to have the custom thing you have here, so you know which buttons are which. So, for example, button 1 is triangle, and basically keep this up when you're calibrating this program, because then you will know what does what. Also, it may be useful to also have RuneScape on at this time, so I'll log into there now, and basically you'll just assign the buttons to certain keys, and also the left control stick to move the mouse. These, just to clarify, this left, right, up and down are not the directional pad buttons. The left, right, up and down is the direction of the left control stick, or the main control stick of the controller. So if you're not using a PS3 controller, you can skip straight to this part. I'll try and I'll put an annotation to say you can skip straight to this part if you're not using a PS3 controller. The only thing you have to keep in mind when you're not using a PS3 controller, like an Xbox controller or just a normal USB controller, is you need to know what buttons are what. So you need to know what button 17 is, what button 25 is if you have one, and so on. So basically, at the moment I have it on and I'm actually moving the mouse with the controller at the moment, but you can't see that. Actually, I'll just turn on my webcam so you can see that. So here's the controller, and I am moving that with the, I'm not using the mouse, I'm using the PS3 controller to move it. As you can see here, I have the settings here. I'll just quickly show you how to do that. I'll just turn off the webcam now. Basically, you right click and configure the button. Automatically it'll probably be either on disable or keyboard.